So you've done stand-up radio, acting, hydration drinks, Kokoda, marathon. How much is enough?
That's a lot. Where's the time for the kiddies or something? Can you still fit the family in with all that?
Yeah, that's the tough part. There's always sacrifice.
Is it sacrifice or choice though?
Have you ever failed with any of the goals that you've ever put out there?
Oh yeah, of course. With everything, failure is the stepping stone to your next success, right? So I don't bank or look at failures as much as stepping stones towards the next success. But I think that it's about how you process failure is really critical. And sometimes I think I've seen it unravel people mentally very, very rapidly. They make a failure and then it just burrows like a worm into their mind and they can't get off it. What you've got to do is whatever it is process it as fast as you can as a fail, as a learning experience. What's next? Go.
Let's take it back because formerly you were known as Merrick and Rosso. Like without Merrick, there was no Rosso.
We were friends before we started working together. I've known Rosso since I was 20, so over 30 years we've been mates. And then we became a duo and we did radio and television and live shows and books and like everything in show business. The only thing that we didn't do was that was the only thing we didn't kind of have a crack at. And I think that's what happened is we kind of got to this point where I think we just ran out of gas.
What happened there? Today's guest is someone who's mastered the art of doing everything and somehow doing it all at once.
He's Australia's most relatable entertainer, having first made his name as one half of Merrick Rosso before going solo as a stand-up comedian, actor, presenter, and radio beast.
But he's also a polymath entrepreneur who launched a hydration drink, Posca, and is a certified wine expert.
He's also won SAS Australia and just casually ran a marathon the other day.
He's obsessive, driven, and probably hasn't said no to a single idea or new project in 15 years. Merrick Watts, welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Quick sip of the Posca there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Posca,
Wet the whistle.
Yeah.
Quick one. I want to start off with self-diagnosed obsessive. What is that? Because when I read that, I was like, what does it mean? I was like, for me,
what is that?
What is that?
Yeah.
Self-diagnosed obsessive.
You've said it before.
About myself?
Yeah, about yourself,
Wow.
your career. You do so many things. Like, how much is passion and how much are you actually doing it?
No, I'm obsessive. Okay. There's no doubt about it. I'm not obsessive in like minutiae and small detail and stuff like that. I'm not like anally retentive about stuff. But I am obsessive about pursuit. So I would say self-diagnosed obsessive would be that I'm cognizant and I'm aware that I am obsessive. I know that. Like I don't need to go to tell anyone. Most people, I don't know that people, generally the public, would see me as obsessive. Mm-hmm. Maybe more so in recent years. But say like 10, 15 years ago when I was working in radio, I don't think people would have thought I was as obsessive as I am and as goal-driven as I am. But yeah, I'm very, very obsessed about goals. Mm-hmm.
What does your partner think about that? Because for me, if I was like that, my partner would probably be like, I don't know, what the fuck kind of thing, I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, I reckon she would. Yeah.
You're not goal obsessed, but you're goal driven.
Yeah, like I find I put them in two different things. Like obviously I've set my goals, but then I don't kind of show it too much. Where like obviously like I felt like obviously with relationship with Amy was very different, and my new relationship is I kind of keep my goals very different with my relationship because I feel like that's the reason why I failed because I was just too focused on driven that I focused my relationship was down here, my goal was here, and that's kind of for me that's what failed. But that's kind of everyone's got a different perspective on it. Yeah. And for me, what about you, Ames?
The best goals are shared goals.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right now they can be shared with professional relationships. They are awesome. Those goals that you have, we share them with professionals, and a team is like for me that's a drug for me. That obsession towards achieving goals with a team that's what I get high on. With a personal goal, it's got to be a team pursuit, a team play. So my wife doesn't try to or wish to inhibit in any way the goals that I do. She just sees it as part of my personality and part of what I do, but then also sees that the goals that I usually very, very lofty, the goals that I set out to achieve are to the benefit of the family as a whole, whether that be a goal to increased meditation, which means better mindfulness and better presence, whether it's physical, taking on some sort of like a marathon or doing something like that, or if it's a business goal. She just kind of sees it as beneficial to the whole family if I'm doing these things, because I might be setting an example for my children, which is a positive message to be sending. I might be doing something that's lucrative for my family and for the well-being of my family, or I might be doing something that makes me a better person. Whatever the result, the goal is still the same, which is how great I can be as an individual and how they can all be my support team. Sorry, I just completely lost my mind. When I said it was a team goal, it's a team goal about me.
Yeah.
No, but
You're the main character.
Yeah. I think the best goals are team goals.
Yeah, because if you list everything, so you've done stand-up, radio, acting, wine, hydration drinks. We know
Model.
Kokoda.
Yep.
We also know marathon.
Yep.
How much is enough? Why so much? Why do you take on so much?
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Where's the time for the kiddies or something? Can you still fit the family in with all that?
Yeah, that's the tough part.
Yeah, that's
It's always sacrifice.
Sure.
Is it sacrifice or choice though?
Both. It's a good question, because the sacrifice has to be a choice. Otherwise, if it's not a choice, then it's not a sacrifice, it's an error. If you make the choice, it's a sacrifice. And there's kind of like, if you break into, usually there's a triad, there's usually three elements of anything that kind of, can give you balance. So, you have diet, you have exercise, and you have sleep. Right? If you've got only two of those things, one of them you're out of alignment, you need all three. You've got 3 sets of 8 hours in a day. So, you've got 8 hours for work, 8 hours for sleep, and 8 hours for family and recreation, right? So to fit the things in, what has to give out of those, the 24 hours, of those 3 sets of 8 hours? I can't take any, if I want to do more work, I still need 7 to 8 hours sleep a night, because otherwise I'm not effectively doing anything. I still want to exercise. That's really important to me. And so the sacrifice is often family time. And junk time. I just lose junk time. Junk time is watching television when I don't need to be watching television, scrolling when I don't need to be scrolling. Anything that is non-productive. On weekends it's different, because that's a time when you need to kind of pull back. But 9 to 5, as it were, like Monday to Friday, no, it's got to be productive time. Any time that's junk time is junk time.
Yeah. What does junk time look like for you?
I do like to just sit around and drink wine and watch TV. I know that I've just said it's none of those things, but on a weekend, like a really happy place for me would be get up in the morning and exercise with my wife and go and do some, just walk the dog, light exercise on a Saturday, maybe some breakfast. I don't tend to eat breakfast early, but I'd like to have some breakfast, maybe another sleep, get more recovery on a Saturday. And then I like to cook and eat lunch with my wife and drink wine and talk about wine and have a few drinks and just chill out, and then watch some shitty movie or something like that, and then that's my day, and then I'm happy.
That's awesome, mate.
So it's very different to Monday. Monday to Friday has to be elite, and I say to people that with the way I treat myself, my body is that during the week I treat myself like a Rolls-Royce, and on the weekend I treat myself like a rental car.
I love that. I love
balance.
Yeah, balance.
It's all about balance, isn't it? Eh? Have you ever failed with any of the goals that you've ever put out there?
Oh yeah, of course.
Tell me about one.
It's like it's with everything. Failure is the stepping stone to your next success, right? So I don't bank or look at failures as much as stepping stones towards the next success. But I think that it's about how you process failure is really critical. And sometimes I think I've seen it unravel people mentally very, very rapidly. They make a failure, and then it just burrows like a worm into their mind, and they can't get off it. What you've got to do is, whatever it is process it as fast as you can as a fail, as a learning experience. What's next? Go. And that's part of very much growth mindset. The reason why I do a lot of things I do is because I'm constantly looking for growth. That's why I'm always doing something new, something, a goal. There's always something, because growth defines life. If you're not growing, you're dying. And I don't want to die, so I want to grow. So it's, that constant chain of it. And so I think that, that by observing that process, I think that kind of carries that.
I love that.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, you got me, man.
Yeah.
I love it, It's awesome, So obviously, this is why we love doing this type of stuff, because getting to know you a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Obviously, our relationship
But also
perspective as well, the way you think. It's always, our relationship's been me smashing you at the gym,
Yeah, I know.
That's it.
I won't lie. Like, seriously, I nearly spewed when I did a workout with you. Like, I was ill. Like, I was like, I'm pretty fit. And then I was like, I want him to stop doing this. This ski erg is going to make me vom. And then I literally nearly vomited. I was like, no, I'm really, and it's not that I'm unfit. I just wasn't prepared for that. That was, but I love that. I walk away from an experience like that where, like, that's working to failure. That's, like, to me, walking away feeling that flogged is both a failure because I look at my own capacity and think, I went in there thinking I was better, fitter and faster than I was. So that's a failure in my own ego. The learning from that is I've got room to grow. So I walk out of here, out of the gym and go, right, okay, you got flogged. You were unprepared. You thought you were better than you actually were in the state that you were in. So how do I apply that? Increase the capacity. Look at what I'm doing. Am I actually working out effectively and process that? So it's always like instantly turn the failure into a growth learning.
Okay, let's take it back because let's rewind a little bit.
Can you be funny now? We thought you were a comedian. I know.
When I was telling Jono's partner, we have Merrick on our show this week. She was like, Merrick and Rosso, like that Merrick. We were like, yes. Obviously, formerly you were known as Merrick and Rosso. Like without Merrick, there was no Rosso. What happened there?
So Rosso and I were a duo. For anybody who's not listening, Rosso and I were a comedy duo. We were friends before we started working together. I've known Rosso since I was 20, so over 30 years we've been mates.
Wow.
And we were both working as like very, very much fledgling comedians. And we became friends, and then eventually we started working together, and we just had a great synergy, really, really good. And we still do. We've got a great chemistry, synergy there that we have. And then we became a duo, and we did radio and television and live shows and books and like everything in show business.
Yeah.
The only thing that we didn't do in show business was a movie. That was the only thing we didn't kind of have a crack at. And I think that's part of the reason why Merrick and Rosso split. There's a lot of conjecture as about to why, but our relationship had done everything, like done all of the things other than create a film, which, as we know in Australia, is near impossible. And I think that started to put strain on our relationship as a duo. Is like you're living like a marriage because you spend more time with that person than you do with your family life. And at that stage too, I just had my son. My son was born, and it just changes everything. It just changes the way you think about everything. Yeah. And I think that's what happened is we kind of got to this point where I think we just ran out of gas.
Yeah.
And I think that, it's unfortunate, but we still have a lot of communication. Like literally, Rosso sent me a text message last week saying you're around, and I said, no, I'm in Thailand. And I made a joke about, helping animals or something like that. Yeah. Like I was doing some sort of relief work, and he was just like, you are full of shit. You're probably drunk. Which is true. I was. Yeah. I was not helping any animals or any people. But so, yeah, we have it's very much like brothers. It's a different type of relationship that is always long-standing. It's always there. Whether you want it or not, that relationship is always there. Fortunately, we do want it, but it's one of those things that it's such a long-term thing.
That's very much like us, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Married, and now we're like basically brothers and sisters.
Can I just tapping on the mic here? Rosso and I did not sleep with each other at any stage.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm very, very certain. It was never a moment. I mean, once we used to have to share. It was really funny because when we used to tour in the early days, we were poor comedians, as you should be. You start out and you shouldn't have too much fame and you shouldn't have too much money early because it makes you rotten. So we struggled really hard in the first few years, as anybody should. So we used to go to like remote regional areas and stay in like really crappy motels. And because we had no money, we would have to get like one room with two single beds.
Yeah.
and we'd have to sleep in them. And it was always that uncomfortable moment when we'd be booking in. They go, 2 rooms, and we go, just one, please. But can we have 2 beds? And sometimes they go, there's not 2 beds, and we just go, okay.
What's it called? The brocade?
Where you put what?
Where you put the pillows.
The pillows. In
Yeah. Look, I mean, to be honest, we usually used to just get the 2 single beds, and we used to call ourselves Bert and Ernie because it was like a Bert and Ernie relationship, and we did that a lot to tour because we had to try to make money and not spend it on extravagance.
Yeah. I'd love to hear more stories about that.
Yeah. Well, maybe there's a movie in the making.
What went on?
The things Rosso and I used to write entire shows, stand-up shows based around touring. About we would get to, somewhere like the Enmore in Sydney, and the first 15 minutes of the show would be talking about us staying in crappy motels and the shenanigans that we would get up to in these motels, the drinking and just some really dumb behaviour. One time Rosso left an iron on the floor, like he went to iron something, there's no ironing board, and he left the iron on the floor and it burnt a hole through the carpet. I think we tried to move one of the beds over the burn mark, and then we did a runner. That's in Coffs Harbour, so if you've ever been there and you've been wondering why there's an iron burn, it was in Coffs Harbour Motel.
That's what I love about comedy. It's literally experience, like how you interpret it, right?
Yeah. And look, there's different forms of comedy. I think, the way to describe what Rosso and I both like and what we enjoy is we do anecdotal comedy. So we talk about experiences that we've done, and they're usually about the dumb shit that we've done, and that's our nature. We're not political comedians. We're not necessarily those sort of hyper observational comedians who find an aspect and drill down on either their own personal psyche or the psyche of people or social or political nuances. We don't kind of do that. We just kind of tell dumb stories and that's what I love. I love storytelling in comedy the most. Yeah.
Who's your favourite comedian?
Me, definitely. I mean, I don't know.
I need to go to one of these shows.
The fact that there was not even a slot, the fact there was not even room for a pause.
Jesus, man.
The fact that I'd answered it before you'd asked it. Yeah.
Obsessive, I get it.
Yeah. No, look, I love lots of different types of comedy, and there's comedians from yesteryear. Like I really like Groucho Marx. I think he was brilliant. But I also there's lots of up and coming comedians here and abroad that I really like as well. Young people that sometimes people wouldn't even know about, but they absolutely kill me. And I laugh at different styles of comedy as well that are very different to my own. So I don't seek out comedy the way I do it. I enjoy different types of comedy, but I was most influenced by a guy called John Clark, who unfortunately passed away a few years ago. He was a New Zealand comedian. He's known for a character called Fred Dagg, but he used to do Clark and Dawes, which was a 2-hander interview piece that used to be on it was on after a current affair, at the end of Current Affair on a Friday night. It was also, I think, on the ABC after the 7:30 report. And it was just a basic 2-hander, and it is some of the most genius comedy I have ever come across. I still to this day talk about it all the time. And John Clark influenced with his writing. I only ever spoke to him once in my life, and it was one of those moments. But he's not the biggest comedian in the world, but he is, to me, one of the great genius of comedy.
I love all the heckling, all the, what I mean, when you're on stage and there's the hecklers, they try to...
I love that.
I love it, I remember I was at one show and it just, he absolutely went off, the comedian went off. And,
and
he actually walked off and he's like, fuck this, I'm out.
Really?
Yeah, I swear, to that point.
Do you like the people heckling, or do you like the comedian's response to the heckling?
I like the response, the response where it's just like so...
The slap down.
Yeah. So witty, so quick. Yeah. It's like, how do you think of that?
Is it ever staged though? Is
it
ever staged where you bring someone and you're like...
It's not bad to have a backup plan, to have something in your back pocket in case somebody heckles. But the sign of a good comedian is the way you deal with hecklers. I love it. I don't like being heckled. I like it when somebody makes a comment and you can zing them.
Yeah.
But it's about how you handle it. When there's comedians handle it badly now because they allow their lack of emotional control to become present in the performance, and that's when they're gone, right? So I was explaining this to a young person last night who was asking me about how you deal with hecklers and how you work on stage, and I said it's about control. It's all about control, but it's not about the control of the audience. It's not about the control of other people, and this is, I think, a rule for more broadly, but very specifically to comedy, is it's about your personal control. If you look like you're in control and you are in control of your emotions, you are the most dangerous person in the room, without doubt. So if you're a comedian and you're up on stage and somebody heckles you, but you are still emotionally in control, but you can deal with that and you can separate it, take your time, hit them with a zinger, do whatever you need to do, bring them up, do whatever you need to do, even if it's partially humiliating to them, but you remain in emotional control, you win. The moment you lose emotional control, you're out of the game and they will eat you alive.
Yeah.
That crowd will turn on you in a flash. And emotional control, an example of poor emotional control with a heckler is somebody says something and you turn around and you get abusive and angry. As soon as you show anger, you're finished. The audience sees it, they're gone. They're out of the room. You turn around, you show composure, control, and then a weighted response, like a considered response, rather than smashing into them and making them humiliated in front of their friends. Just give them a little bit of a slap, let them know who's boss, and then come back to the audience because they're the ones who are paid to see you.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the error of a lot of young comedians is that they go too hard.
Yeah.
And rather than kind of a gentle slap, they sledgehammer them, and it's wrong.
Yeah.
And they lose their emotional control.
The line, like, where have you ever taken it too far?
Yeah, I mean, I've jumped out of the audience and punched the shit out of them. I mean, I'm not taking that from them. I mean, just because it was her 70th doesn't mean that I'm going to cop that shit. No. Look, I think, there's definitely a line. I always think that you should give people forewarning, like give them a bit of a slap, let them know who's in control.
Yeah.
If they keep going, give them another second chance. After that, smash them. Third time unlucky, and I mean verbally, just open them up, like really. And the best way to do that is actually not to attack them, it's to get the audience to turn on them. Again, it's the control. Stay in emotional control and get the audience and that happens so rarely. I can't even remember the last time I even saw it. But the idea is you give them a couple of goes because the audience will see that you're trying to do the right thing. But if they go one step too far on the third count, you get the audience to turn on them. That's the trick.
Crowd
That's when you get the Coldplay response.
Oh, yeah. Well, bit viral.
Bit
yeah,
viral,
a little bit viral there.
Probably is. I mean, they were very intimate. So
how viral did that go out?
I
That was
know,
insane.
crazy.
That was like trend is like what was it, 50 million views or something?
yeah, I mean, it's a good idea not to have an affair in public. Hot tip.
Have you ever done it?
Not in public, no. In private, 100%. 100%. As soon as I leave here, I've actually got a 145 at Formula One Motel.
It's good.
I don't.
Mate,
That was clearly a joke.
Yeah, we're laughing.
Yeah, good. Thank God.
Okay, well, before we get into hydration,
Yep.
let's talk about dehydration. Your, I guess, hand in wine.
Yep.
You're fully qualified.
Yep.
Highest qualification in Australia.
Oh, no, God, no.
No?
No, God,
What
no.
do I buy one of
Oh,
those?
God, no. I'm
Where do I
highest
buy one of
qualified
those?
comedian in the country.
What about
In wine. No. In Australia, the highest qualification is a Master of Wine, and that is basically like a professor level.
Wow.
It's legitimately like it's.
Wait, do you do that at uni or?
You study. It's actually an international course.
Okay.
And it would take you probably to become a Master of Wine. It would take you probably about 8 years of pretty much full-time study, I reckon.
What about ChatGPT? How long does that take?
That would take you about 8 seconds. 8 seconds.
I use that app. You know the app that's on like you down and you just you look at the menu and you use the app and you
what's
take
it
a photo
called?
and it gives you a whole.
Aaron uses it
Yeah,
too.
it
Of
gives-
the Vino?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the one.
Yeah,
I use
yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. Yeah. But I mean, this is the thing is that even with tech,
you're the app basically.
Yeah,
in person.
well, that's what happens. We go out for dinner. My wife is also, she's a qualified wine expert and she's a som, so she works in wine as well and she's got an excellent palate, but she works in hospo. And so it's one of those things is that as far as technology, as fast as it's, kind of rapidly changing our lives, things like wine that is based on human connection, that is based on sharing, that is based on nuance like that. ChatGPT can tell you everything about it. It'll tell you about the wine, except its opinion.
That's nice. Very good.
Very true.
There we go.
I think that's a
Mic
lock
drop.
away for an
Make
edit.
sure.
Yeah.
Edit that there,
Edit
because
that
that is a
there,
sharp
capital.
little point there. I made it up. I'm pretty happy with myself as well.
That's true, though. There's a few things. Well, there's a lot of things in the world that you can say that
Yep.
about. Even personal training.
Yep, exactly.
You
Can't
don't
touch
get
her.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you ever going to be motivated by ChatGPT?
Yeah.
When you are about to vomit? No.
No.
You'd be motivated by Jono yelling
Yeah.
at you, 100%.
Exactly.
No, so I am. Yeah, to answer your question, I'm a qualified wine expert and a judge, and I judge in wine shows as a bit of a side thing at times. Not for money, because there is no money in it. But it is. It's a very complex kind of thing, and it's another one of the things that I do.
What's your favourite drop? Are you a red wine drinker? White wine?
I like white and red, probably equally, and I would say Chardonnay for white, and I would say Grenache for red.
Nice.
Controversial, but I really like Chardonnay a lot.
Wow, interesting.
Yep.
What's yours?
I'm, Burgundy,
Yeah, just like
Is that good?
yeah, Burgundy. That's Chardonnay.
Yeah, I know. You can tell I'm
Burgundy.
not-
Chardonnay. Yeah,
I
Burgundy.
just sounded really sweet.
Burgundy's a region. White Burgundy is Chardonnay. Red Burgundy is Pinot.
Aye.
That's it.
I love a
There you
Pinot.
go. See,
Why
you both
rely-
like
see what,
Burgundy.
see what happens when you rely on apps.
See,
Yeah,
how did
You
you
become a bit.
But how did you guys separate?
seriously.
Look, you both love the same thing, just different versions of it.
Different name.
I feel like I might be bringing you two back together.
No.
Definitely
No. So let's talk about hydration.
Yes,
now,
let's
mate.
get
Posca,
hydrated now.
As we can all see, wearing that.
Yes.
Posca is
Tell me.
a hyperhydration, a hypertonic form of hydration, which I invented. So it's not like a branded asset that I kind of attach myself to. I literally developed it in lockdown. And it's based on an ancient Roman formula. So I was studying some wine. I was doing some deep research on wine during lockdown. And I came across an ancient Roman formula called Posca, and I was absolutely fascinated by it because it mentioned the fact that the gladiators and the soldiers drank it, and it was used very specifically by Emperor Hadrian and some of the other Roman emperors, and they would drink it in times of war and battle and marching, and they were using it primarily at the time as actually a way to purify water sources with salt and red wine vinegar in it. And then they would flavour it, and the soldiers would have to drink this every single day. But what they came to realise with time, and because the formula is literally thousands of years old, is it was very, very good for hydration. So if you're a soldier and you're at war and you're marching, you're sweating all the time. And as you guys know better than most people, water is not enough. You've got to have salts. So Roman soldiers always carried salt, which is where you get the saying, a man's worth is salt. You had to carry salt. And it was used for multiple purposes. But one of the purposes that Roman soldiers carried it for was the salt was to make Posca, which was to drink. Wow. And so they were replenishing their salts as they marched, which gave them great benefit. And they were all about optimizing. So the Roman army was always about optimizing, and that's what they did. So it was part of the formula. So anyway, I found the formula and kind of reinvented and thought what it would be like if we used more complex salts, magnesium and calcium, all the kind of electrolytes that you would normally find in a sports drink, but keep the red wine vinegar base. And then it's kind of proven to be this really weird alchemy of magic that we're finding more and more evidence on clinically that offers great benefit. And it's the combination of the parts, so that the vinegar reacts for great gut health. It's got prebiotics, but it also affects the gut lining and helps the minerals as well, and the absorption of the minerals, which makes it a hypertonic drink. So it's a separate class of drink. It's actually a category unto itself. And it is delicious. Thank you. I might have some now. What a brilliant ad.
Let's all have some.
Drink
now.
Posca now.
There you go.
So that's
Yeah.
but that came from wine, and I use my wine skills and my wine knowledge and worked with another wine expert to help develop the flavour profiles, the way it tastes, but stay true to the formula, have that sharpness, that tang that comes from a small amount of vinegar in it, but then have the saltiness and the freshness as well. So to me, it's like, if you're talking about sports drinks, I often refer to it as the champagne of sports drinks.
So what's next for it? What do you got planned next?
Oh, I've got no plans.
No plans,
Honestly, I was just going to kick back and have this can and have a lie down. I'd love to see. We've got a lot of flavour profiles that we'd like to see released and develop the brand and work with the brand. But obviously, we just need to get it in market, get people trying it, get people enjoying it, and educate people what it is, because it's not like another drink. It's not kombucha, but it has some of the benefits that kombucha has. It's not like a Powerade or a Gatorade, but it has some of the electrolyte benefits that it has, but it has no sugar, and it's only got less than 13 calories. So it's a very, very good option for people to drink. So you've got to let people know that. Bet in the brand, work hard on it, get it out there, and then, just hope like Christ that it becomes the next Red Bull.
Yeah,
and then I can sell it, and then I can buy a speedboat. Because I know Larry Emder has been on the show, and he didn't mention it, but he's got a speedboat. I don't have one. I should have brought that up.
I always find that the hardest thing, though, trying to get it, like, people to actually drink it. I think it just, I feel like marketing, everyone's towards like Powerade, Gatorade, and it's just they don't really want to try anything else. They're just so kind of just stay in that lane, and I don't know. I don't know the reason why they're not so open to trying new things. Like Pascal just tried, and I think it's amazing. I've used the 5 sessions, and it's amazing. So I don't know. I feel like this day and age, it's so hard to convince someone to try something new.
Yeah, but it's a noisy market too. There's a lot. There's a lot with everything. There's a lot of noise around. So and you have to sell a brand. You've unfortunately got to create noise and do that. But it takes time. But like you think about something like Red Bull, which is a very, very different drink. But Red Bull was a guy from Austria. He goes to Thailand. He sees a chemist who's making a drink as a supplement for truck drivers in Thailand to take to keep them awake. Wow. And then he's just gone, there's a market in that. What if it was in a can, not a bottle? And then they redeveloped it and they rebranded it and they worked and worked and worked. Everyone thinks, Red Bull only kind of hit Australia like maybe 20 years ago. And I remember the first time I tasted it, I was like,
what's this?
What's this cough medicine?
Yeah.
It tastes like cough medicine.
Yeah.
Now I don't think that.
No.
Right? You change, and it's about that. But I mean, we see Red Bull as like a kind of recent journey, but that's not. That's like decades and decades old, that journey. But it's a great example of having something that was a new category, something different, and just backing it in and trying and committing to something new.
Yeah.
Having said that, Posca is better than Red Bull in every possible sense. I can say that as a founder and a developer, it is the best.
So why pivot into wellness, I guess? Obviously...
From comedy and everything else?
It's all the
everything.
money. It's all the cash.
No.
It's worth it. It really is. It's worth it if you sell it for $1 billion.
Where's she going to?
It's honestly, I do anything that I believe in, and I believe in it 100%. So I'll attack anything that I love challenge, and I like doing difficult things, and that's part of it. But I genuinely believe it. I know that it works. We just got some very recent feedback from a group of doctors, which was incredibly encouraging. You get these, we're starting to realise the benefits of this are even more than we initially thought. So I believe in that, and I always wanted to. See the journey through because of that reason, because I developed and for whatever reason I've just stuck with it. It's 4 years now. I never planned on getting into drinks. I've been asked by winemakers to make wine. I've been asked to be a brand representative for wine, and I've always said no. And they go, why not? You love wine. I go, yeah, but I don't. I've even made wine with friends. Like, I know how to do it, but it's not what I wanted to do. With this, it's just so unique. If I didn't do this, if I didn't see this through, I would have robbed myself, and it felt like the universe was pushing me to do this.
Yeah.
So that's the answer. And more specifically, it was saying, make amazing merch, which I have. I mean, the hat that I'm wearing.
I love that jumper.
Oh, no, this jumper is
love that. I want it. Butter yellow, that's so in at the moment.
So good.
No, that's possible.
We make great merch. So, yeah, it's not, I never set out to, similar like Larry Emder, he didn't set out to make a whiskey, and then he did. And I didn't set out to make a hydration drink, but once I saw for myself how it worked and how it was different. I just couldn't stop.
Yeah.
Couldn't stop. And
Well,
what?
I never set out to be in the fitness industry, but here I am.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you want to do when you were a girl?
I knew who I wanted to be and the woman that I wanted to become, but I didn't know like what I wanted to do.
So you knew the end of the path,
Yes.
but you didn't know the
How I
route
was
that
going
you
to
would
get there.
take.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
cool.
I know where I want to be.
That's the way you should live.
Yeah.
You should know the destination and then find the route there, not like just follow if you
Yeah.
just follow the roadmap, you find all you do is end up finding obstacles.
Yes.
What did you want to do when you grew up?
I wanted to be a professional soccer player. Yeah.
You failed.
I failed. I did, yeah. Failed bad.
bad.
Yeah. I know, awful. I did all right, and then I got over it. I just kind of
Yeah.
got,
No, but
I just got over it. There was a point where I just kind of reached its standard, and I was like, you know what, I'm more useful, counting reps and making people torture people.
Yeah.
But from an athletic level, it makes sense that you and played at a very high level,
Yes,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So then you go into fitness. But before that, when you were a kid, did you
I'm trying to bring back. I just wanted to get out of the country, mate. Colombia.
you do?
I was born in Colombia, and then so basically growing up was super super tough where I
Yep.
grew up, and then all we wanted to do was just go to a better home, man. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
I think even going back when I was 16, I think just everything down there is just insane. Like people that still travel like on those horses, those carriages. That's their transport, man. And it's $30 a month. But that's what they work for. Sugar cane's cutting that down. It's
Yeah.
extreme hard work and $30
Yeah.
bucks every single month. And so
Yeah.
for me, it was just trying to find a better home and my family. So for me, but yeah, it's kind of that wanting to achieve bigger and bigger. That's why I kind of set such big goals and I strive
Yeah.
towards them. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit of my background, Merrick. But it's
What do you want to do next then?
What
Both
do I
of you, what
want?
do you want to do next? Let's see how I flip this.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I think
I know what's
it.
going on.
For me, what I want to do next is, I've really focused on family this year, and I think that's kind of my main goal is just to be a better father, and that's kind of where I want to head to next in terms of career-wise. I'm doing a great job of what I do, and I've built a good brand, good name in the industry.
Yep.
So I've kind of done that. But for me this year, just focusing on just being a better dad.
Yeah, for me, just growing the brand. Like you said, if you have that passion for something, if I don't, it's going to kill me to not do it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I want to do that. I want to grow it and that's where I see my path is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. And that's an awesome motivation because I think people, and you guys would see this, no doubt, because the fitness industry is all about motivation. It really is. It's about reps and weight and everything will give you the results, but the spark to the flame is the motivation. So sometimes people will come to people like you to get the motivation, but if it doesn't start internally, it's not going to run the journey.
Exactly.
Because other people's motivation will only take you past the first door. To get going, you've got to have that motivation internally, which is what you've got,
Yeah.
which is why you'll succeed.
Yeah.
Because you can't stop it. It's lit, once it's lit in you, you can't stop it. Which means that you could end up being a good father, John, at some stage.
Ouch.
That's what we call. That's that slapback. That's that zinger we're talking about.
My ex would love that one.
It's like you heckled, but you didn't heckle.
Yeah. You're just sitting there.
I was just there copying
innocently.
it.
Yeah.
I love that.
No, it was measured. It was measured, and not honest. That's great. Oh, that's good. I want to ask you more questions now. Do we have time? No, all right. Okay. I'm ready now.
There's a way that we like to finish. Amy.
Yes.
Do you want to explain how we finish?
Yes.
Yeah, so we do high, low Castano. High
Yep.
of the week,
Yep.
low of the week. Castano is something random you've experienced.
Okay,
Oh, surprising.
a high of the week. To be honest, I'm very fortunate where I have a lot of highs, but I always say, particularly with Polska, it's a roller coaster ride, and that's good. A lot of journeys. Show business is a roller coaster ride, as you would know, like it's ups and downs and stuff like that. But with something like a startup business. And something like Polska, the wavelength between the highs and the lows are much more condensed. They're closer. So in one day, you can have like just the most amazing news. Like, if I look at yesterday, we had moments where we're literally high five. And then like at the end of the day, we're like, oh, that's so annoying. It's 5:15. Why are we dealing with this now? And like literally just shaking. And so that is the highs and the lows. So a high for me this week. I always love being with people. Last night I was with some people. I was filming some content with my team. So I like being with my team, and they were filming some stuff with a singles run club. And so they're active and it's good. I like people. So that's a high for me, but also took some time yesterday to just sit down and write comedy. And I love that. I love that. For me, that's a real high. It's a high that other people wouldn't see. They wouldn't know. They just see me at my laptop. But I'm writing comedy, and for me, that's the drug. That's the drug. So I like to do that. It's my high. Lows is like, it's the dumb stuff. It's the detailed stuff, like setting calendars. Like I spent like an hour yesterday readjusting calendar, trying to balance movement and flights and, appeasing all of the pieces and the people that I need to. And that I find really tedious. It's not something I enjoy. So that the low moment is when I'm not being creative. Right. But fortunately, I spend a lot of time creative, or I spend time with people. So the highs and lows, randoms.
Yeah. Could be funny, interesting.
Yeah.
Come on. Yes.
Yeah, come on. Something you wrote down yesterday in your comedy.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good one.
Yeah, something you wrote down.
Give us a cheeky one-liner.
Yeah.
I did it right yesterday. It's a bit of a problem because I'm about to go and record it and I can't remember it. So that's pretty.
Here's your little practice.
That's pretty ordinary. No, something
zinger.
random from this week.
Yeah.
Okay. Something random from this week.
This is the hardest one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is so hard.
I'm just trying to think because I just got I got back from family holiday on Monday and had like chronic jet lag because I went straight to work from the airport on Monday morning. And so like the first 2 days of the week I've just been in a fog and I feel like I can't remember it. I can't remember Monday and Tuesday. And for everybody, it's Thursday today and I'm only just coming to life. Something random. I'll tell you something that is quite random people don't know about me. I talk to my dog like my dog is a human and we're in a conversation.
I do that too.
Yeah, you do that as well.
I do that.
I got a Great Dane and my children hear me talk to my dog and they go, "You don't talk to us like that." And I say, "Because I don't love you as much as I love the dog." And once they understand that, then you see. So maybe Jono, maybe don't even try trying to be a better father. Just get a dog. Just get a Great Dane. Just get a Great Dane.
I need a dog, eh?
That's something
Amy
random.
took my last one.
No, I didn't. It's shared custody. It's shared custody.
Shared custody. I know.
If there was one point that could have been brought up that could cause friction, it's the fact that Amy stole your dog.
Yeah, go on, man.
Stole your dog.
You see him every day, though, basically.
Yeah, it's not the same, though.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Do you let the dog sleep in your bed?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. I've got a Great Dane. Sleeps in between my wife and I.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Yeah,
Wow.
I love that dog so much. She's the most beautiful animal in the world. And also, too, my wife she's quite good looking as well, but the dog is just something special. The dog is just, I don't know if you've ever spooned a Great Dane.
What's her name?
Django.
Oh, Django.
She's listening right now. Daddy loves you.
Good day. Good
That's
day.
great when the crew are laughing because they go, he's insane.
He's like, this is great content.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Well, thank you,
Thanks.
Merrick.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming on.
It's been an honest pleasure. Thank you.
It's been fun. It's been good.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I'll leave now. Bye.
Catch up.